The AllStar app, the #1 app in the business. UFC, Bellator, One Championship, PFL, and more. Get the app right now. Link in description. Let's jump right into it. I was watching a few of your interviews that you did in the past maybe 4 or 5 months, and it seemed like a handful of fighters, they turned you down. And Said Nurmagomedov, he signed the dotted line. Were you worried for a while that you're gonna fight this year?
A little bit, maybe. Yeah, a little bit. I had that, back in my head.
And with so many fights, falling through, what was going on behind the scenes?
With me,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was just kind of, how my division, I think, it just, it's just a lot of, I don't know, a lot of people out there. You know what I mean? So it's you gotta kind of be on the line. Kind of wait until it's your turn. I mean, that's what I have been told, but I'm not really sure. I've been just training and doing my thing.
Why do you think it's hard for you to get a fight? Because there's a lot of bantamweights out there. You know what I mean? It's not like there's like a limited amount. It's not like other divisions. It's not like the women's featherweight division where there's nobody there. There's so many fighters.
I mean, I don't know, man. I wish I had answered. I don't know. I mean, I think what I think is just, I don't know, man. I think it's been about 5 months since I fought July 9th. Yeah, it's been a 5 month. I had some fights that they offered me. It just never happened. I always say yes to the fight, but they always come back saying that, oh, other side don't want it. They want it with somebody else. That's what I get, most of the time, because they always give you the names and then they go with somebody else. But yeah.
That must be frustrating. You know what I mean? Like you're willing to fight anybody, but they're not willing to fight anybody.
Oh well, that's why they're gonna only be in the UFC for a couple of years and then they out. You know what I'm saying?
Do
So
you gain any confidence from that? You know what I mean? I would, if guys weren't trying to fight me, I would be gaining confidence from that in my skill set. That means they see
oh,
something in you.
of course, they know I'm a bad matchup for everybody. I'm a bad matchup for the whole division, top 15, top 10. I'm a bad matchup for everybody. You know what I mean? It's just nonstop pace. I mean, man, I don't blame him, but at the same time, man, I'm 27. I'm hitting my prime. It's my time will come. This fight with Said, it will put me on the map. You know what I mean? It will put my name on the division, and then from after this, it'd be easy. I just gotta keep up with the fights. That's what I think.
After your last fight, you respectfully asked to fight Cody Garbrandt. And I like that matchup. I like that you respectfully called him out. You know what I mean? Most people would, shit and try to call him out, right? Did the UFC ever try to put that fight together?
No, not even close. I mean, Cody is like, I feel like, he's a former champ.
Hmm.
He's rich. He's like a different. He's a money maker for the people that like to watch him. I think after this one, I still wanna fight him. I think that's still a good fight. I still wanna fight him.
Nurmagomedov, right? He's number 15. He's 5-1 in the UFC. Just your thoughts on him, his run in the UFC, and the fighting style that he brings.
He has a. He's like a quiet, just quiet, silent dude. He's running the UFC. It's impressive. He had some decent, good wins, but the guys that he beat, the last guy that he beat, I think it was a tough fight for him. He didn't look good in that fight, man. He got clipped, he got taken down, he got tired. It was a split decision win. It could have gone either way. And then once before, it was Cody Stamen. I mean, Cody Stamen, I already trashed him at practice in Vegas. You know what I mean? Like, he's not on my level. I trashed him before I was in the UFC. I mean, it's the training, but still, you know what I mean? In the fight, I'm even more powerful. Other than that, I haven't. I mean, he beat this. He has a really good win against Ricardo Ramos, Brazilian guy, which is a he's a good fighter. He finished him with a nice kick. Maybe that kick hurt him. I think it's because dude used to cut a lot of weight, and then you know what I mean. He didn't have enough water in his body. I think it was just good timing. That was good. I think that was the only good win for him in his whole UFC career. Other than that, he hasn't. I mean, all the guys that he fought, they're not really top fighters. They're not even. I don't think they are in the UFC. Most of them. Um, yeah, stylistically, I love this matchup, man. I just cannot wait, man. I just, I wanna. I like to challenge myself, man. Always want. I don't. This is the guy actually would make actually made me get off my bed and then go to training. You know what I mean? Actually made me worried a little bit. Hey, get better, work harder. You know what I mean? That's why I'm really happy for this. He actually challenged me. He pushed me, and I cannot wait to perform, man. It's just sometimes I think about it. I just want to cry on the way to gym. I just think about this. I'm just like, I get so emotional. I cannot wait, man. This is gonna be a great, great fight.
He has one loss. It's to Hyon Barcelos. What did you think of that fight?
That's a good loss. He lost that fight. He got beat up, man. Them leg kicks, you know, it was a good loss for him.
What do you think of Hyon Barcelos, man? It seems like he's a pretty interesting matchup for anybody. You know what I mean? Sometimes he comes out and he does really well. Other times he doesn't look so good, but he's very, very dangerous, right?
I think style makes fight. I think he has this. He's very stiff and like he's like a box just coming at you. Like he's strong. I mean, he's what? How old is he? Like he's over 30. He has that man strength. He's man. He's a good fighter. I think he actually after my debut, I think he posted me on his Instagram story, called me out. Yeah,
They never tried to put that fight together?
nah, nah, nah. I just think, man. I just think it was just. I don't know, man. Sean Shelby, man. He needs to talk to me. You know what I mean? He needs to meet up with me, grab a dinner. We need to have a talk. I don't think he knows me. That man that he doesn't know me well. He just hears from other people, other managers. How managers try to like when you leave him, when you tell him something, they try to tell him something, they trash you. I think that man needs to have a dinner with me and then really get to know me. You know what I mean? But I think that's gonna.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of politics going on in this sport. It's even worse than it was like a few years back. Everybody knows it if you follow
It's
the
alright.
sport
I'm
really
still
close.
in this. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
can. I'm in this, man. I'm so happy. I'm just like sometimes like I'm like, is it really happening to me? Like I never actually dreamed of. I did dream of being here, but I didn't know it would be this easy. I thought it was gonna be harder than this, but I made it. It was pretty easy to be in the UFC to me. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know other people. I remember even before the UFC, I seen a lot of Twitters like tweet people like, "Oh, I wasted, I gave my last 10 years to the sport after they lose the contender series fights. I give, they gave my life to the sport, and I can't even get signed." And I used to be like, if it took you 10 years to be a contender series and you still didn't get the contract, brother, you were doing something wrong in your life. You know what I mean? Now I've been in the sport 6 years. I feel amazing, man. Sometimes I'm in training, I do some things, I'm like, wow, my physique is getting better. I'm strong. I'm getting, I'm still not in my prime. You know what I mean? I would say next 2 years, maybe next 1 year, I'll be in my prime. I think I'm gonna take over the division.
Do you feel like your body's still developing as well? You know what I mean? Like you mentioned Jaime Barros has that man strength. Do you feel like you're developing that as well and being, bulking up for the division?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm improving so much in every aspect. My jiu-jitsu, wrestling, my strength conditioning, the numbers that I put in strength conditioning is just amazing. It's amazing. You know what I mean? I'm beating them by half that when I started.
And one thing that stands out about you is you do a good job of promoting yourself, right? And it seems like most of the guys that you fight are not promoting themselves. They're not promoting the fights. Like, does that get frustrating on your side sometimes?
Of course, man. This guy's just annoy me. I get upset. This Said is a ghost on Instagram, on social media. He just don't even exist. Maybe he just don't understand. You know how they come from mountains. I mean that and that, but they've been living in America for so long. He has to have some kind of a character. Even Ronnie Lawrence, I mean, look at his page, man. He just don't post. Like, what's going on? I don't understand. Like, I'm bored with these guys, and I don't how. That's why I'm not gonna respect these guys after the fight, because they're not doing anything to make this fight exciting. You know what I mean? They're not putting eyes in the fight. You know what I mean? But me here trying, I'm trying at least doing something. I'm talking shit. I'm saying this. I'm talking about the fight. I'm trashing this fighter, complimenting this guy. It's just I'm doing something at least, talking to you. You know what I mean? This guy Said, I don't think he had any interviews, for this up and coming fight. It's just boring. Just boring to me. Just, you know what I mean? That's why I want to just go out there, just erase these guys from the roster. You know what I mean? They don't belong here, I think.
No, it's not about trash talk. It's about promoting. You know what I mean? Like you said, you
Yeah,
compliment guys. It's out getting your
yeah,
face out there and showing them like,
yeah,
hey, I have a fight coming up. Like watch my fight. It's gonna be exciting. You know what I mean? So, well,
yeah,
someone's gonna lose and someone's gonna win. You know what I mean? There's
yeah.
gonna be a winner. There's gonna be a loser. So you got to go out there and get the eyes on there because you got to think it's not just about this fight. It's about the next fight too, right?
Exactly. It's not even about the fight. It's about life after the fight. You know what I mean? I don't want to just be a fighter and after the fight go get a job. No, I want to be part of the sport. You know what I mean? One day maybe I want to sit on that behind that desk, maybe have my own promotion. Like, I wanna be involved with the fight. Like, that's my life. You know what I mean? That's nothing. There's nothing else I do, besides this. Not just fighting. I've been training since I'm like 8 years old. I've been always in the gym doing different type of sports, but that's all I know. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm new in the sport of MMA. Not even new anymore. I'm like 6 years deep, 7 years gone. You know what I mean? I'm deep in the sport. I want to be part of the sport, until I die. You know what I mean? That's how I think. I don't want to just fight and then go home and that's it. It's not over. I want to help the next generation. One day, maybe my kid's gonna fight in the UFC. You know what I mean? That's how I plan.
You have two fights in the UFC. The first one, you got a late third round finish. The fight with Ronnie Lawrence went all 15 minutes. And you mentioned that you only been in the sport for 6 years. How important has those two fights been, that cage time been for your development?
Can't wait to see the third one, man. I think the third one's gonna show it. I'm telling you, third one's gonna. The first one was kind of, maybe it wasn't like something short. It was like I had no time to prepare for it mentally. It was just something short, short notice. Boom, get the fight in. And then after the Ronnie Lawrence fight was just pure domination. He had nothing against me. 11 takedowns, 12 minutes of ground control. You know what I mean? His face was beat up. I mean, he had no any dangers against me. You know what I mean? But I can't wait for the third one. I feel like this is gonna be even better. I think this is gonna be one of the best performances of my life. That's how I look at it.
After the last fight, you talked about the emotions of fighting, the anxiety, kind of like the pressure. Could you talk about how you handled that over the years?
On after the fight, I talked about being emotional. It was because the things was going through some family stuff. You know what I mean, with my parents. I was just there was some time that where like I didn't talk to my family for like a couple weeks, but that just motivated me. You know what I mean? I just motivated me. I took that and I put that in the training sessions, and I told myself, I'm gonna show them that, like, this is who I am. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just. That's why I was really emotional, because it was the first time I'm going to fight without like talking to my family. You know what I mean? It was a little bit hard, but I made it. I turned that into motivation, and then I got it out of I got out of from Ronnie Lawrence. You know what I mean? He had to pay for it.
Yeah, for sure. And how you gonna make Saeed pay for this one, man? How you think you're gonna perform this one? I think a lot of people are expecting high pace, a lot of damage. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. There's gonna be no time for breathing. I'm not gonna let him breathe. It's gonna be constantly work, work, work. It's gonna be nonstop action. Anything, ground, stand up, kicks, punches. I think I'm like right now I'm in a position where I'm very very well rounded fighter now. Even my striking during training sessions, just I see punches better. Like, you know what I mean? I think better. I'm just I'm a different fighter now than I was 5 months ago.
Something outside of the fight, TJ Dillashaw, he just he just retired, right? That was kind of all of a sudden. Where do you think he ranks among the best at bantamweight?
One of the greatest, no question about it. He's the one of the greatest. I used to watch this guy, man. His just striking level is just, man, just IQ, just next level. I know he did some shit, like, he kind of messed up his career by doing PD. You know what I mean? He just, maybe as a person he's just asshole. I heard that a lot. As a person he was not a good training partner. But that's the fighters. I don't think I'm a good person either. There's a lot of people who hate me. I'm like the most asshole person in the world. You know what I mean? I don't get along with a lot of people because I'm. You gotta be like that. You gotta be selfish in this game. You don't. I don't want my friends. I don't want friends. I don't want to hang out. You know what I mean? But I think he's the greatest. He's one of the greatest bantamweights of the all time, and he just kind of fucked up by doing PD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I agree with you 100%. He's one of the greatest of all time. He just fucked it up by
Yeah,
doing
he fucked up.
PEDs, and yeah, man. Do you think he comes back though? Because it seems like you know
No, it's
he's
too late to come back already. I think it's too late, man. The age is catching up. He's getting injured real quick. It's just his body is beat up. You cannot drive the car for so long. You know what I mean? Like, one day it's gonna just break on you, and then you gotta junkyard. So
Mhm.
yeah, I don't think he's gonna ever come back. Even if he comes back, I think he's gonna come back to do some exhibition matches, like those famous fights, YouTube stuff. But he's not coming back to UFC because UFC, man, we're hungry. We're like just hungry dogs in here. I eat him up. You know what I mean? He's not gonna just get out like that. Guys are too hungry in the UFC.
You're right. They're the next generation, which is the generation you're part of. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're hungry dogs, man. There's a lot of killers out there that are just fully
Hmm.
skilled all around. And if you're old man, you can't keep up, man. If your skill level's the same, but you're the old man, the young
Yeah.
dog's gonna kill you.
They can attach to you. Yep.
Yep.
They can eat it up.
Yeah, and the James Krause situation, man. I gotta ask you about this, man, because it seems like every day, the past 2 weeks, something new is coming. You know what I mean? Something is being revealed. You know what I mean? What is it? Sports books are not accepting bets if James
Crazy.
Krause is involved with like a fighter or the fighters from their gym or anything. You know what I mean? Is this pretty crazy, man? Like this has never happened in the sport.
It is crazy, man. Most of the fans watch the fight because they bet on the fight. You know what I mean? They bet on the fight, and then they watch the fight better. They get into the fight better. You know what I mean? You know how it is. You just like put your heart into it. You just become crazy because of money involved. If there's money not involved in a sport, especially betting part, I think it's just kind of bad for the sport. But I mean, whatever the UFC doing with it, I think they're doing it right because we don't want the sport. We want the sport next 100 years. Like, you know what I mean. I want, like I said earlier, I want my kid to be in here. You know what I mean. My kid's kid. Like, we want the sport to be so big. Like, that's how I want to look at it. You know what I mean. So doing stuff like this, it's just bad. I think it's not good. It's not good. So man, I mean, as of now, it's still, I think nothing. They just still conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? They're not really saying what exactly he did it. This investigation is still going on, so we don't really know if he did it. I mean, I wish him all the best. I hope he didn't. How can I say? I hope he didn't fucked up. You know what I mean? I hope. I mean, it looks like he fucked up, but shit, like, you know what I mean? I mean, I know the man. You know what I mean? He actually told me he was a fan of my fight, so I don't want to say too much bad shit about him. But man, if he did it, man, fuck, man, I'm sorry. Like, you know what I mean? Shit, it's fucked up. But we want to build this sport forever. You know what I mean? You cannot just die because of just one guy.
December 17th, man. UFC Fight Night, Las Vegas. Saidyokub, thank you, man, so much for the time. It's always good catching up with you. Always an interesting chat. And yeah, man, you're one of the hottest prospects coming up in the division. So let's see what you can
You
do
get this.
against the top. Hey, there
You
you
get this.
go. All right.
I'm gonna run, man. They have no chance against me. Nobody. They're getting old, man. Younger guys, I'm gonna outrun them. Older guys is out.